Hi, I'm Greg Hensey. Welcome back to the ghbond channel. We're going to talk today about PulseChain and investing in the purgatory phase. First, I always want to cover the basics. Number one, this isn't investing advice. Any money that you put into cryptocurrencies, it might be the last you see of it. Any cryptocurrency can theoretically go to zero, so you should always bear that in mind and only invest what you can afford to lose. Second, never give away the seed words to your wallet. Seed words to your wallet is like the key to your safe, and once you give that to anyone for any reason, you may as well hand them your cryptocurrency. That being said, let's first talk about what the purgatory phase is. Purgatory in Catholic Church was that place between heaven and hell. You weren't quite good enough to get into heaven, but not bad enough to have your soul sent to burn in the fires of hell for eternity. So you were in purgatory. And you were in purgatory until you served your time, and St. Peter felt it was time that you could get into heaven. And the Catholic Church even used to sell what they called indulgences, which helped you get out of purgatory. Well, in the case of PulseChain, there's two ways to look at it. One is that those of us who sacrificed early and have Pulse or PLSX, we're in heaven. We're going to be able to trade right when PulseChain starts. Everybody else is in purgatory. They'll be able to get in, but they're going to have to wait a little bit. The other way to look at it is that PulseChain itself is in purgatory. You can be in PulseChain, but you can't talk to any of the other chains. So those are the two ways to look at it. Purgatory phase is only supposed to last a couple days, but it's a very interesting phase, and I want to talk today about my strategy to invest in it. Now, there may be some new people here and some people who have some incorrect concepts, so we're going to go over a few of the basics. However, it's important that you're already well versed in the blockchain. If you don't know the blockchain, I've got a half-hour lesson that teaches you what you need to know, and please refer to that. You can watch this, go watch that, and come back and watch this again, and then you should have it. It's important to know that in order to get the tokens on the blockchain that are going to come to you from Ethereum, you absolutely must have a non-custodial wallet, meaning you have your own keys. And again, if you don't understand that, then you probably need to go have that half-hour lesson and come back. So without further ado, let's get into the basics of how the PulseChain's set up and how the different phases of the PulseChain rollout are going to occur. Why was PulseChain created? PulseChain was created by Richard Hart because he created the HEX time deposit on the Ethereum blockchain, and Ethereum gas fees got to be too high. So he created a version of Ethereum that's a higher speed network, eliminated the energy wasting proof of work, and copied every single wallet and every single token and duplicated it on this new PulseChain. And his tokens, Pulse, which is the native token or coin, and PulseX, which is the exchange token, are both deflationary assets, meaning the total in circulation goes down over time. Here are the phases. We're in testnet 2B right now, and testnet 2B is going to continue. There may be another testnet, but the next phase and what we're talking about today is the purgatory phase, which Richard has said may last a couple days. At this point, we've already done the mainnet fork, meaning we've made the final copy of the Ethereum blockchain, and Ethereum and PulseChain go off in their own separate ways. All of our tokens will be running on the PulseChain, and we'll start price discovery by trading with each other. But there's no bridge to the outside. Those of us who are in PulseChain heaven are the ones who've sacrificed. No one else can get in. There's no link to any other chain, and there's no fiat on-ramp. The final phase will have a full function PulseChain. The bridges to Ethereum and other blockchains will come along, fiat on-ramps, and that will occur over time. So let's take a look at where we are now in testnet 2B. If you don't already have testnet 2B set up on MetaMask or whatever wallet you're using, I have another video on how to set it up on the MetaMask wallet. If you have the HEX and pRC20 tokens right now, when the testnet was split off, you'll have the same ones show up in your PulseChain wallet. And they're there right now on testnet. None of the tokens are worth anything because it's just play money, it's just a testnet. If you sacrificed, you should have your PLS or your PLSX. If you sacrificed and they're not there, then you need to go to the sacrifice checker and see if there's an issue or if you need to submit a report so that they can get fixed. All this should be complete, hopefully, and we have a launch in mid-May. At that point, your Ethereum wallet, again, we're saying it has 1,000 HEX and 200 ERC20's. They'll have the same value over here. If the HEX is worth 130, we're figuring the HEX over here should be worth about the same. HEX here on the Ethereum is going to be called EHEX. On PulseChain, Richard has said maybe we'll just call it HEX because PulseChain was made for HEX, or maybe they'll call it pHEX. The value of HEX, we're expecting to be close to the same on either chain, but we don't know if that'll happen right away during Purgatory or if it'll take time. pRC20's, we have no idea what those will be worth. Those are going to probably fluctuate very broadly during this and also into the final phase. Pulse and PulseX were both worth 1/1000th of a dollar to early sacrificers because the bonus was for every dollar you sacrificed, you got 10,000 tokens. So this particular person deposited $1 into the PulseX sacrifice, and so he had 10,000 tokens. And during this phase of Purgatory, the PulseX and Pulse shouldn't be worth any less than what the people who got the best bonuses paid for it. Because if it gets worth less than that, everybody in here is pretty much a PulseX fan, and they're going to be buying them up. So the 10,000th of a dollar limit is probably the bottom of where these will trade in the Purgatory phase. So my strategy during Purgatory phase is right now I'm putting lots of HEX into my Ethereum wallet because HEX is the only thing that is tied to a dollar value right now. HEX will be trading during Purgatory for a dollar value in Ethereum, and so it is basically the fiat of Purgatory. If you have HEX, you know what it's worth in Ethereum. It should be worth somehow something similar to that in Purgatory. And that makes it the way that you can buy Pulse and PulseX. And so my goal is to try and buy an equal amount of Pulse and PulseX. I know some people have opinions on which one is going to multiply in value faster, but I would rather have the same amount of each and then over time let the market tell me which one is going to accelerate faster in price, and then I can shift towards one or the other over time as we see which one doubles faster. Of course, try and buy them as close as I can to 1/10,000th of a dollar. May be kind of difficult. That if HEX was the same on both chains, that would be roughly 1,300 HEX, but we'll have to see where that market is and see if we can get that kind of value for our HEX in the Pulse and PulseChain markets. pRC20's, these are the copies of the Ethernet versions of those tokens. My plan there is to either dump them or to load up on them. Dump them, the idea there is let's sell them for whatever we can get and convert them into PLS and PLSX because we don't know if they're going to be worth anything. The load up theory is, hey, I'm hoping that this particular token is eventually going to reach parity between Ethernet and PulseChain blockchains. So right now, while everyone's trying to get rid of it, I'm going to load up and become a whale in the pRC20 version. It may be a long shot, but that way if the two ever do reach equivalence, I'll be doing quite fine on my value. So that's it. That's my strategy. Simple, and I try and keep these videos short. So leave your comments. I'm sure you have ideas, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon on this same channel. Bye.